Well, we're in the midst of the Democratic convention. What a sham that is.
Yeah, it's it started off perfectly with our friend Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who obviously was conniving it the whole time, and I don't know whether you saw it. I think on the Hollywood Press today, but Susan Sarandon is like, Nixon had to resign for something less than this. What
Well,
the hell is he?
it's become professional wrestling. Politics is literally professional wrestling where you can win the championship if the referee doesn't see you cheating. You know, like when the bad guy pulls out the foreign object and starts hitting the good guy and the referee doesn't see, they still win the belt. Even though the whole audience sees, they still win the belt. So it's like, oh, well, since we didn't get caught cheating while we were cheating, I guess it's okay. It's okay. We weren't caught while we were cheating. Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
Russia's fault. And so it's a complete sham, totally stolen, totally a coup. And Bernie Sanders just rolls over and plays dead. And just, what do you want me to say now, Queen Hillary, my queen, my queen? How do I do your bidding now? You know, Elizabeth Warren, my queen. And the thing is it's like, in the Senate, you had the cool kids, which was like, Pelosi and Feinstein and Boxer and the Sweet Southern Belle. And they're sitting around doing their nails, talking about their dye jobs at their special table, like just ignoring Sanders. Just like, we're talking about our hairstyles, man. I don't see any highlights in your hair. They're just ignoring him. And now he finally gets to sit at the cool kids table. So it's like, whatever you want. Whatever you want. Hillary's like head cheerleader. Hillary and Sweet Southern Belle, they're like the head cheerleaders. And Bernie gets to sit at their table, but has to do whatever they say. It's bullshit, man.
yeah. And the thing that I liked is the mainstream media is in on it, including Politico. Politico's sending them messages. Is this okay? What we're doing? I
Right.
mean,
Documented.
it is. It's incomprehensible. But
Chuck
the
Todd,
other,
what do you want? What do you want? Wasserman Rat? How do I report on this?
yeah.
Yellow
What kind of
journalist Chuck Todd.
mudslinging should we do on Bernie here
Right.
and so forth? Um, it even kind of spilled over to CBS in the sense of 60 Minutes. Now, so Clinton was on with Kane on 60 Minutes on Sunday night. However, the most important question that she was asked, 60 Minutes did not air. And that was, what did you know about the emails? And she was like, I didn't know anything about the emails. I never saw any. I mean, got the professional liar out again. She can stare you
Well,
in the
the thing is,
face.
they don't even care anymore because they know that everything is rigged. There's a banana in front of our republic. They don't even care anymore. It's like, what are you going to do about it, bitches? Even if you find out that we cheat, as long as the referee wasn't looking, who cares?
Yeah, even if the referee is looking, it doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. They don't. I mean, it doesn't even matter. They know votes don't matter,
Well,
and the law doesn't matter. The law doesn't apply to
doesn't
people
apply
like
to them.
HRC. There's no law, and they know it. And now they can just be blatant about it, and they know there's enough press. There's enough people that like that snarky Rachel Maddow making fun of Donald Trump. It's easy to make fun of Donald Trump. Look at how snarky and cool we are. They're like the freaking mean girl bitches, and we're so snarky and cool, and we're making fun of Donald Trump, and he's such a buffoon, and he's a racist, and he's this and that, and he's so horrible, and Hillary's just great. She's just great. And enough people watch that crap, you know.
I really, I'm wondering if this is the collapse of the country as we knew it. That is where you would actually have to obey laws. I mean, because look at what the Democrats are doing now, even with the Brown mother on tonight, that here is a person who, for black people, again, the divisiveness between white and black people, from the Obama administration is incomprehensible. It's absolutely, well, it's not incomprehensible for us. It's very comprehensible. They want to keep all the black vote with their, queen, Hillary. And they don't want them to say, gee, am I really better off than I was when you took office, Obama? I don't think so. But, look at this. People are getting, murdered. Black people are getting murdered. Now, not young black men murdering other black men, which is the most common occurrence, but a policeman who's getting assaulted with a nightstick shoots the person who's assaulting him with his nightstick. So, and that whole comment about a house that was built by slaves last night was incomprehensible for someone who is supposed to be trying to bring the country together. And instead of recognizing that this is how great a country that we have, they can look past the color of your skin, she's making that the whole bearing of why you have to vote for Hillary. Even though Hillary's a liar, I should say she's a pathological liar. She's an extortionist. She cares nothing.
But she carries hot sauce in her purse. That's enough. She carries hot sauce in her purse.
Yeah. So for the poor, here's my message to the Bernie supporters. Which person do you think is going to change something? Is it going to be Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? Which one? And if you think Hillary Clinton is going to change anything, somehow you missed the entire campaign and what Bernie was saying.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is Clinton can't get elected. It's anything to stop Clinton. And so I suppose if you're a Bernie supporter and you want to vote your conscience and your beliefs, you'll vote for Jill Stein. If you want to put 100% vote against Clinton, you'll vote for Trump. Because voting for Stein is a 50% vote against Clinton.
At best.
Right. It's a 50% vote against Clinton. Trump is a 100% vote against Clinton. But if you just can't get on the Trump train, then you can vote for Jill Stein.
I think here is the way you jump on the Trump train if you're a Bernie supporter. Number one, the Republican establishment didn't want Donald Trump. Okay, he's the only non-professional politician in the whole group. Your girl Hillary just picked a guy who's not only for TTP but for deregulation of the banks.
Right, and he was the former head of the DNC.
Warren, get up there, and I couldn't. I was thinking she's living moment to moment in a parallel universe. Okay, because one moment she says she's against Wall Street, and the next moment she's supporting the person who gets the most money from Wall Street of anyone in history.
Well, see, here's their people's takes. Is they think the progressives are either going to bend the freaking knee, because where else are they going to go? What are they going to do? What are you going to do? Vote for Trump, who's going to put in some bullshit Supreme Court justice and is going to take away gay rights and is going to be bad to women? You're going to vote for that guy? Come on. You're going to vote for racist Trump? You're going to bend the knee and vote for me. Or you're just some stupid millennial who's not going to show up anyway, so we don't need you. Or you're some crazy progressive hippie, we don't need you either. What we do need is more white guys in the middle. So let me bring a white guy in the middle, moderate, to take those votes away from Trump. Because millennials, they're not going to show up. Most of the progressives are going to bend the knee, because what else are you going to do? You got to take what I give you, bitches. Besides, we have snarky Maddow and that delightful Vanderbilt kid and Don Lemon and freaking Chuck Todd and all those people.
Judy Woodruff, don't forget her.
Judy Woodruff, surrogate Judy Woodruff, Stephanopoulos, Jeff Hayes, is that his name? All saying how great Hillary is. Even the freaking Young Turks have basically turned to the Hillary train. And progressive Tom Hartman has been all over. Oh, she's a great candidate. She'd make a great president.
See, this is where...
And you have all this quote-unquote progressive media saying, oh, we got to stop Trump. We got to stop Trump. So as far as the Clinton people are concerned, it's like, yeah, man. We've already got our surrogates, and what else are you going to do? You got to fear Trump, fear Trump, fear Trump, fear Trump. Trump sucks, Trump sucks. I'm not going to be as bad as Trump. So we don't have to worry about those people. So let's bring in Tim Kaine and get those other middle of the road, independent, moderate people over to our side. And, at least you got to give the Republicans credit for electing the candidate that the people actually wanted in their party.
What a
And
concept.
Trump
What a
picked
concept, right?
and Trump, who's basically very populist in a lot of his stances, picked a freaking crazy neoconservative as VP as a tip to the hat to the constituency. Like, look, I know I have a lot of crazy freaking creationist wackos, in our constituency. So let me get a guy who doesn't believe in climate change and is a creationist and is just doesn't believe that tobacco causes cancer, just to show you that, hey, I'm winking at you too. Does Hillary do that? Does Hillary pick a progressive person to at least wink at her base? To at least wink at her base and say, hey, I get it. I have this base. No, she picks another Republican.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was going perfectly along with Hillary's "I'm for Wall Street."
But you know what? At the
Because
end
so
of the
is
day,
Tim Kaine.
it doesn't matter because they're going to steal the election anyway.
Yeah.
They're gonna type letters to Chuck Todd and say, look, softball straight up the middle for Clinton, and just talk about how horrible Trump is. Maddow, be snarky, be so snarky, and Elizabeth Warren Twitter war against Trump. You go, Bernie, come here, boy. Bernie's now got a freaking little dog collar and a little ring in his nose, and they pull him over. And they say, all right, Bernie, you're going to go and talk unity, and you're going to talk, we can't have Donald Trump, and join our team, and travel around the country with Clinton. Just imagine, he's got to freaking travel with her and talk about how great she is. And you know what? He's only ruining, he's ruining his own reputation, and it's not doing anything to help her. All he's doing is wrecking his reputation. Same with Elizabeth Warren. But you know what? It's like when Obama got in the room. When Obama won, they said, all right, Obama, all this hope and change you talked about, all this like stopping the wars you're talking about, all this closing Guantanamo, Gitmo you're talking about, all this regulating Wall Street you're talking about, ain't going to happen, kid.
No.
Not going to happen.
Definitely
And
not.
Bernie got brought in that same room.
Well, and it's so pronounced with Obama because who the hell did he appoint as Treasury Secretary but the guy who created the whole crisis, Tim Geithner?
Right.
So they told him, Tim is your boy. Put our boy in there.
I mean, did you see too in the Democratic primary, DNC surrogates for Hillary Clinton infiltrated the Bernie campaign, took jobs, and were, that's how they got all these lists to purge people, so they knew who to purge when the elections came. It's just flat out cheating, but hey, nobody was looking, nobody knew when it happened, so I guess it's okay. It's like professional wrestling. And taking it even a step further, Hillary Clinton is like what Kurt Angle was, acts like a good guy but is really a bad guy. Like everybody knows he's a bad guy but totally acts like a good guy. And Trump is like Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the day, acts like a bad guy but everybody thinks is a good guy even though he's totally acting like a bad guy. You get my drift? It's
totally
total professional wrestling, but the media is going to totally put the thumb on the Hillary side, and she's still losing in all the polls right now. If it was held today, Trump would win, but they don't care because they're just going to cheat anyway.
Well, here's my prediction. Of course, I've said this before. I predict that Trump will actually win the election, and something will come out from WikiLeaks or someone that tells the moment that Hillary and her pals decided they had to rig the election, and that will get leaked out. Now, I still cannot get over the fact that there were thousands of Democrats supporting Hillary down there when they just saw the party commit essentially what's a worse crime than what happened at Watergate. It is incomprehensible to me how it's not forgiving, it's not uninformed, it's narrow-minded, I guess I would say, a view of justice. That is, justice is anything that I think will line my pockets, because Hillary's going to line my pockets. This is what they perceive. Of course, the reality is that's not going to happen. You know, you got Lloyd Blankfein over at Goldman Sachs, like, line your pockets. Who are you kidding? She's going to line my pockets.
Well,
That's the whole idea.
It's like the web is so deep right now.
Yeah.
It's like everybody is involved in this Clinton Foundation extortion. If the House, I mean, Obama's on those emails. I mean, remember she like deleted, wiped out, destroyed half of her correspondence.
35,000, but it was all about yoga. And the ones to Bill, of course, Bill said he only sent 2 emails, so...
I mean, the web is so deep, everybody's involved in it. So it's like the whole thing would fall down. And so it just shows you how deep, deep, deep the corruption is. And maybe history will look back at this and just go, oh my God, this is like a Harding administration.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I mean, you're going to have presidents and there's going to be Obama right next to Harding.
Yeah.
It's so corrupt right now. And when Hillary gets in, when they put her in, it's going to be all right. No fly zone in Syria. Let's rack up. Let's start this war thing. Let's get it on. Let's get it on, and let's just start deregulating. And oh well, the TPP language. It looks good to me now. Done.
Yeah.
Done
they
and done.
5 words. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. We put a comma here. I love it. It's great. That comma made all the difference. Done and done. And the sad thing is, all these quote-unquote progressive people who are like, well, we've got to support Hillary, and who weren't calling that bitch out during all this, they're going to be stuck with all that crap. I mean, just imagine if Elizabeth Warren had endorsed him.
Oh.
But you're right. She would never endorse him because
she would never endorse.
She's part of the syndicate. She's at the popular girls' table with the sweet Southern Belle, Pelosi, Feinstein, and Boxer talking about their highlights.
Yeah.
And their great freaking dye jobs.
Yeah. It's a sad day. However, what I think is going to be the most powerful thing going forward in the campaign. One of the things is going to be the debates. That's something. The most powerful thing is there are going to be a bunch of people who are actually supporting Trump who realize what we're talking about, which is this is ridiculous. And I just saw a commercial today where she was talking, a private video, at a private speech from India, where she's talking about outsourcing and no, we can never stop that. That's and we're thanks, and the Indian people are thanking him so much, for transferring jobs to India. So I think all of this is going to come out, and the people, enough smart people are going to go, I just don't get it how things are going to be better with Hillary. Even, I'm predicting, even some Hispanics, and not basically ones in California, who have 15 illegal immigrants living with them. I mean, the average number of, I saw a figure on the average number of illegal immigrants living in a home in LA County is unbelievable. So they don't want anything to change as far as like actually having to produce documentation that you're a citizen, so they're against Trump. However, here's my prediction, is that Hispanics from the most important state right now, it appears, Florida, because of the 29 electoral votes, that the way it's stacking up at the moment, and I believe Trump will continue to build momentum, but at the moment, he has to win Florida to win the election.
Right.
And I think as he gets his message out about what he really wants to do, it's not going to be affecting Florida that much because we don't have a bunch of a zillion illegal immigrants streaming into Florida. And I think every day that there's another priest beheaded or whatever, people are going to say, you know what? Hillary caused this, and we can't let her get in and think this is all okay. But because that's just perpetual war, and that's what she likes. And obviously Obama likes it too. And it's my opinion that Florida will go for Trump actually in a big way. And the reason is, as they start drilling down to Hillary, what are you going to do to create jobs? She has no real plan. what
But
Trump has way more credibility in creating jobs than Hillary Clinton does.
but it's all mute because they're just going to cheat. And
Well,
the Democratic primary was their practice. Like, hey, we can do this. We can do
well,
it. We can cheat. And they're gonna probably even refine their cheating even more. They're gonna refine their. All right, we got to be more coded with how we talk to the media. Let's like get some private island and bring like Chuck Todd and Woodruff and Vanderbilt Kid and Lemon and all the people, and we'll just say, look, these are your walking orders. This is how it's going to go down. We bring the people with the voting machines, and we just go to town with it. I mean, truthfully, they should just like not even have elections and just give her a crown and a scepter and be done with it, and not even waste anybody's time because that's what's going to happen.
yeah,
It doesn't matter.
it's sad, but I'm still predicting that somehow, maybe some real journalist will actually rise up and start calling out on a large scale.
But
It
what's going to
could
happen to
possibly.
that journalist?
What's that?
Come here, journalist.
No, you know who I think.
You've got a really nice family, journalist.
You know who I think would is doing it, and of course I know you don't like this person, but the person who's called them totally out yesterday was Sean Hannity.
Right, but Hannity has no credibility with most of the world.
But that's what I mean. He has to broaden his scope.
Right, but he's too crazy to do it. He has no credibility, and he's just a crazy person to most people. He's like what Trump is. He's like this straw man, fall guy, bad guy, and the people that they need to convince aren't going to be convinced by him. You need like somebody who's not considered high by
Well,
most people.
how about you're not going to get anyone from any of the major networks or any of the news networks, so it's only Fox News is the only place it could come from. O'Reilly is obviously the most popular person on cable news. His problem is he has such a big ego. Bill O'Reilly's ego is bigger than Trump's. If that's hard to imagine, but it's true. So, but I think just getting these little snippets out, and again, as I said, getting to the people who put these commercials together that show how really bad Hillary is, it's going to have a massive negative effect on the campaign, on Hillary's campaign.
Sure, it could be totally negative, and they could be totally cheating. But what does it matter when they control the voting machines and they can just purge people, toss votes out, not count shit differently? There's no accountability for it, and they're going to perfect their voting fraud from the Democratic primary. All right, how can we improve our voting fraud? Because it doesn't matter, dude. We live in a banana republic. We just got to accept that now.
I don't disagree with you that they're going to try, but I think somehow they'll get stopped. That somebody will wake up and go,
Because even the Republican establishment doesn't like Trump. Paul Ryan would probably rather have Hillary Clinton as president 100 out of 100 times. Mitch McConnell would way rather have Hillary as president. Everybody in Washington would rather have Hillary than Trump. All the Republicans, way rather because Hillary basically merges Republican and Democratic foreign policy and Wall Street into one thing. The only kind of difference is social policies, and the profiteers don't give a crap about social policies.
Time out. I just want to remind you that Donald Trump got more votes in the Republican primaries than any other Republican in history.
I agree with you. It's the people. The people support Trump. I agree with that. But what I'm talking about is the establishment Republicans that are in office.
And for the biggest constituency in the United States of America, which is independence, the resounding, and this started out in Canada and then it happened in the UK, it's going to happen in the US. The default standard is if you're a professional politician, we're not voting for you. That's what's going to happen, I believe, with the independents. Now, if they totally falsify the election, there's nothing that can be done about that. However, I would suggest that somehow Trump is actually going to win. let's see.
Well,
That's
he could win from the people, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win. Which the Democratic primary is a perfect example of that. The people's will doesn't matter.
well.
The people's will did not matter, and the political establishment is like the DNC. The political establishment is the political establishment. Their job is to keep Wall Street happy and to keep war going continually. That's their job, and to keep drug prices high and to keep
So
oil
so
companies happy. That's their
so
job.
so explain this to me. How does one, a la Elizabeth Warren, speak one moment about uh, income inequality, and in the very next moment endorse Hillary Clinton? How does she do that? Is she a sociopath? Maybe.
Well, because I think they need to show people like there's a little bit of hope. Maybe I think people gravitated toward Warren because she's smart and she sort of had a take on something. So it was like we have a little bit of hope somewhere. But at the end of the day, if it goes too far,
But
they're
she's
just
a
going to say
hypocrite.
shut
She's
up.
absolutely the archetypical hypocrite, because if you look at her,
She's a
she's
total
saying,
hypocrite. She's a total hypocrite.
yeah, and doing something completely opposite of what she's
She's a
saying.
total hypocrite, and Bernie Sanders just is a hypocrite too.
Yeah.
I mean, he took money from and time from people who had no money and time. And you want to talk about transfer of wealth? He transferred a whole bunch of wealth from people who didn't have any wealth into a hope, and then just said, "All right, I'm going to now kiss the ass of everything I was just fighting against, and that you gave me money to fight against," because they're going to put more bike trails into the platform. I got more bike trails. What they're putting in the platform, and they're just going to ignore it anyway. It's going to be
All right.
like the Black Lives Matter, the victims of police violence that were in all these Hillary commercials. Do you think they can get on the phone with that campaign now that they're done with them?
Well,
Once the election's in, it's like, progressive values,
well, let's wrap up with this one. What's going to happen with Bill Clinton addressing tonight? Now, here's a guy who literally should be in jail for extortion, for perjury, and yet he's going to be embraced, even though he's really is looking creepy these days. He's going to be embraced by the Democratic establishment. What do you think about Bill Clinton's speech tonight?
Well, probably a pretty great speech because he's a great speaker. He's probably the best speaker of his generation. You see his slick Willie. I don't know. At this point, it's just.
Well, maybe we should reconvene after Hillary's speech and see what else surfaces, because as we've said before, the skeletons never stop.
No, they never stop, but it doesn't matter. They can fall. This skeletons. Look at these skeletons. What are you going to do about it? I have skeletons. What are you going to do about it? They're just rewrite the laws. So they're literally rewriting laws so Hillary doesn't go to jail.
Yeah.
Because the extortion and the corruption is so deep and goes so far. It's like everybody is involved in this web of bribery and extortion and profiteering, at the expense of the backs of regular people. It's like what Trump says is like the Hillary campaign is I'm with her, and Trump says, well, I'm with you. Hillary Clinton, it's all about her. Well, the only thing the Republicans have are attacks against me. Everything is me, 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 me. And, as long as they can have their plush get-togethers with Clooney and Chuck Todd and Maddow and Vanderbilt Kid and profiteers, and they just go, all right, here's our narrative. This is what we do. Here's some more champagne and caviar. Don't worry, it's on the Clinton Foundation. Saudi Arabia is paying for this party. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know that less than 10% of the Clinton Foundation goes to any charity. The rest is all for travel and good times and salaries. So that people who are already multimillionaires.
Chelsea has to have a job.
Right. Yeah. It's for the caviar for the people who can already afford the caviar. So it's It's ridiculous, but you know, what can we do about it?
But
We
Elizabeth
can rant
Warren,
to each other on Skype, but
yeah, uh, uh, Elizabeth Warren has no problem with that. It's all okay with her. Anyway, let's see what happens later in the week, and then we'll get at it again.